welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at another series review. Today we're taking a look, continuing the trend, continuing the train, going to Season 3 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2012 animated series on Nickelodeon, and this, just like the other two, has 26 episodes, all around 20 minutes each. And it follows our heroes, our turtles, going through the loss of Splinter after he died in Season 2, and they are living in the forest. They run away to April's cabin, which releases them to new threats, with the Krang putting mutagen in the water, and it going mutating frogs, and mutating the Sasquatch, mutating trees, having some nightmare beavers, all really cool and interesting things. But they actually went to the farm to unlock their true potential. Leo was injured and Splinter was dead, so they went to the farm just to have some time to get back on their feet, to heal, so they could go back and defeat the Krang and stop the Krang who invaded and took over all of New York City. So this season has them going back to New York as well in the second half, where they take on the Krang and save New York City. So this is where they start to split the season into two parts, where the first part of the season is them doing one thing, and the second part progresses it and that is them doing the other thing. It still has the two-part endings though, with them destroying the Krang and ending up in the ocean. However, I do feel like the farm bit got quite boring. We had each turtle going on their own adventure with their own bad guy and their own villain, each one going into the forest, learning a lesson and coming back out, and then Leo healing and them all getting sort of their spiritual awakening and having them all in their sort of elemental area, I guess. They all got their sort of spirit powers and unlocked their true potential and started wearing their forest outfits, which again was only there as their new outfit for the season so they could sell more toys, and it worked. It's like Ninjago. Each season they get a new outfit so they could sell toys and new sets, and it works and it's cool, and I fall for it and I buy it. But these suits are actually really cool, and it had them altering their weapons a little bit to fit this forest vibe, and it was just them being a lot more sneaky, a lot more ninja-like, being able to talk without talking, and that's how they ended up defeating the Krang, being a lot more primal than their futuristic technology was, and it worked. They defeated the Krang, and they defeated Super Shredder, who was this big mutant, and he got mutated into Super Shredder, which caused a lot more problems for them. However, they did cause a black hole when defeating the Krang. The Krang destroyed Earth and defeated a black hole, caused a black hole that swallowed Earth, and that's where the season ended. That's where the series ended, with them in the ocean and a black hole being caused from the Krang ship exploding. And I'm going to be honest, the animation is exactly the same. Obviously, they wouldn't change it, otherwise it'd be quite jarring when watching the series. It is all on Paramount Plus, which I'm currently watching it on, because I bought Paramount Plus to watch it for the new Halo Season 2, and to watch the new Knuckles show when that comes out, but I'm getting my money's worth by watching the Turtle show, and doing this like I promised I would a while ago. But yeah, the animation is exactly the same, voice acting is exactly the same. I've gone over it in two other series reviews. I'm not going to go over it in this one. It is very flat, and there's very little texture on anything. They do a lot better, and they do try a little bit harder for the backgrounds in the forest, but when they go back to New York City, that gets thrown in the bin. The backgrounds are again quite boring in New York City. It isn't anything exciting. It is just plain buildings and empty shops with nothing really there. It's just blacked out windows to sort of hide the stuff inside so they don't have to animate it and stuff like that, which is fair enough. They're cutting corners to make up for the new outfits and to make up for the cool fight scenes and the early edition of the Spider-Verse art style with the 3D mixed with 2D, which again I love. I love the 3D and 2D art style where it's very comic-like, but also very cartoony with the love heart eyes, the fire eyes to show their emotions, but also the other stuff that they add in as well, like the angry thump on the forehead and the big text behind them. It all just plays into the unique art style that this has, but again, the textures and the backgrounds and the farm itself is a new interesting setting that the turtles find themselves in, and seeing how they deal with it and feeling how they have. This is a very depressive series, and this season is where it gets quite sad, and the turtles are sort of at their lowest after losing their home to the Krang, after losing their father to Shredder. They literally have nothing, and they're still trying to train. This is also where Leo's voice actor does change, and this is also where the series gets a lot darker compared to the first two. And they gather all their friends back to take back New York City. They have the Leatherhead making an appearance, we have Slash making an appearance, and the Monkey Man all coming back to help take back New York City with their mutant group. We also have a new intro. This is the first time we have an updated new intro which fits the forest. They have ditched the original intro, which we heard for a good 40, 50 episodes, which is unfortunate because I like that intro. But we also have the Triceratons, which tease the next season whilst they're here. They tease what is to come in season 4 whilst they're here in season 3. And I like that. It's foreshadowing what is to come, and they are again another big turtle villain, which have a lot of stuff in the comics and have a lot of stuff in the 2003 series. But again, here they're not too familiar or like too important to the story until the last 2 episodes. And even then, it just rushes through the Triceratons, and they just accept it as another mutant. They don't look out of place in this area or in this version of the turtles. They are quite. They just look like they fit. They look like another Rhino, another Bebop or Rocksteady. The comedy still hits. I like the jokes. I'm surprised that they still made the jokes. This is where they try and make it a little bit new and a little bit fresh, but it is also where I started to lose interest in the series first time around. I just didn't enjoy the forest arc. I didn't enjoy all the new forest creatures. I think my favorite episode was the one with the beavers with the dream sequence. I just thought it was really cool and entertaining with how wild that one got. That one was extremely out there, and they mimicked Freddy Krueger quite a lot in that one, and they mimicked Alien with the squirrels, so they were all about mimicking other things as well, and you start to notice it more as you sort of watch more, like old movies and TV shows, how much they were actually mimicking here. They even had a Dungeons and Dragons episode in this, which I did enjoy, and it did bring forward time travel into the series, which was extremely far-fetched, and that's when it started to hit the extreme, and obviously they started to run out of ideas. And it's not the first time the Turtles have dealt with time travel. It happened in the third Turtles movie from the 1990s, and it happened in the 2003 series, where one went to the past and one went to the future. In this one, they sort of had a weird middle ground where they were fighting villains from the future, but they were doing it in the past. So it was a mix of both. And the dream sequence was really creepy as well. It had a very big fear factor to it, which I did enjoy. And it didn't revel with time travel or anything like that. That was like a completely different episode. And it does contrast quite a lot because the Dungeons and Dragons one had some of my favorite outfits of the Turtles, and they are the figures that I did buy. But I genuinely didn't like the time travel aspect to it. I thought that was quite over the top for this Turtle series. And this is where they started pushing their look with what they could and couldn't pull off. And that's pretty much where I leave this series. It's just them trying something new. And I enjoyed them trying to go to the forest. I thought it was quite an interesting thing for them to do. I just don't think it worked. I feel like it just wasn't what the Turtles were about. Like, they're all about the sewers and New York City, and they're trying to put them in a new place to make it more interesting and feel fresh, so people would still have interest in the series. But no, this is where I started to lose interest, like a lot of other people, I assume, and that's why they tried to push the next one to go even further than this one, and we'll talk about that in the next episode, which we'll get tomorrow. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this series. I don't have too much else to say, so I'm going to give this one, I forgot to rank the last one, but I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. I've watched it, but I'm probably not going to watch it again. It is one of my least favorite series, like seasons of this Turtles. But if you do want to have a little bit more Tyler Price in your life, you can check out the link in the description, and I'll take you to everything else that I have to offer as a content creator, from my TikTok to my Twitch to my Instagram to my YouTube to everything else that I have, like Cameo and stuff like that. And that's it. We are sticking with the turtle trend for a couple more days, so do stay tuned for that with season 4 and 5. But please do leave other films, animes, and shows down in the description that you do want to see me watch and you do want to see me review, and I'll get on it as soon as possible. I do have Amazon Prime and Paramount Plus, so if there's any exclusives on there that you want me to watch, now would be your time to recommend them, as that is what I have for the next couple of months. So yeah, that's it. I hope you all enjoyed. See you on this one. Have a nice day, and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe.